Hi everyone, my name is Teho and welcome to our last session of the PMI Africa conference. We're going to have a wonderful conversation today with two trailblazing young Africans who are doing great things in their fields, and that is Vanja Murekio and Yoftahe Johannes. They have been selected as this year's Future 50 by PMI for the roles that they've played in their various projects. These project leaders have shown that they have an unprecedented digital fluency, an unflinching readiness for change, and a naturally collaborative mindset. But what drives them is a deep commitment to inclusion and environmental issues. So please welcome Wanja Murekio and Yoftahe Johannes, who will tell you about themselves and why they are PMI 50 Future. Wanja, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So hi everyone, pleasure to be here with you all today. My name is Wanja Mureke, as you've heard, and I am a senior program manager for Safaricom Limited. That's the most profitable telco in Africa. And I run projects around the M-Pesa service. I think a couple of you have heard about M-Pesa. So my everyday involves transforming lives through bringing in new innovations on M-Pesa.
Thank you, Wanja. And Yoftahe, would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners?
My name is Yoftahe. I'm currently working as a senior project manager in Ericsson in Ethiopia, based in Ethiopia. So I have been engaged on ICT and telecom in general for more than 13 years now as engineer, technical person, then as a project manager and in different management positions, both as an operator, working as an operator and also working from the telecom equipment manufacturers or vendor side. So my experience is not specific to one single domain, but it spans the whole telecom domains. And it was really interesting and fantastic that I recommend for everyone to have that experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wanja and Yoftahe. If you guys would like to know more about the other honorees who are in the Future 50, please do go onto PMI's website and you will get to learn more about the honorees who span government, telecommunications, national defense, and all of these industries to learn more about what it is that they are doing to change their environments and in effect everyone else's environment around them. So we'll get into our conversation. This is a laid-back discussion amongst young people who are giving each other advice on how to become groundbreakers and trailblazers like yourselves. So I'll start with just the background that PMI has recently launched a campaign focusing on how project professionals make reality on the projects around their work. What is the big idea or challenge that has helped inspire you in taking action as a leader?
As part of your job as a project manager, you're interfacing and you're confronting with a lot of challenges. That's part of the project, generally speaking. But if you have that mindset of a leader, and if you have that vision of achieving something, then you will not take some challenges as a challenge only on your project. You will take it in a holistic view and you try to address those. So as part of that one, I remember around 2016-17, we have been rolling out a big project in Ethiopia and we were about to fail, on the verge of failure. And that will be costing my company hundreds of millions of dollars. So I have to step up and put myself as accountable and responsible to handle and manage, in fact, multiple projects and as a program manager. So that and the other thing, understanding the mindset of my stakeholders within my organization and within the customer organization has helped me to save that project, and that has been acknowledged by my leadership in my company. They have awarded me in 2019, I remember. And apart from that, I have been a very active participant in the making of Ethiopian ICT, more a mature ICT sector. So projects, they really can change society, lives, when they are executed perfectly or when they are executed with a purpose and a value that to give for the consumers or the stakeholders.
All right, thank you. Wanja, Yoftahi speaks of leadership, being a leader as a project professional, getting into the mindset, understanding the mindset of the team. Do you think those factors played? Did you experience that when you were working on your M-Pesa project? Or how did you take about or handle such a huge project? Like everyone knows about the M-Pesa rollout in Kenya. So how did you get into that as a project leader? How did you make that a reality to what it is today?
As a project manager, already that leadership role is on you because you have to make a difference and make a change, and everyone is looking to you to lead the huge team that is charged with that delivery. So for me, in my life, I've always found a great fulfillment in seeing ideas grow from being just words on a paper to a usable service or a product that's tangible to customers. So when I go to work every day and I have to deliver new services and products on the M-Pesa platform, that gives me a lot of fulfillment because I know I'm transforming lives. And we have to be very careful how we do this because we still have to maintain the quality, because this is a service that is being used by over 20 million subscribers here in Kenya. So you can't afford to go wrong with anything that you're delivering on the M-Pesa platform. So that keeps us sober every day and challenges us every day to make sure that we are doing the right thing and we are delivering the right product for the customer.
As we all know, Africa's got the world's fastest growing and youngest populations. So I'm assuming that your project teams, both you and Yoftahe, you've got a lot of young people. So what does it mean to manage a multi-generational project team? What are the challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them?
That's very true. We have quite a widespread generation in the workplace currently. And for us in Kenya, actually the highest percentage of our population is the youth. And the youth are changing the project management landscape. They are bringing new ways of working. They are very versatile, curious, they're fearless. So this means they can reinvent themselves very easily. And you know, they're always willing to venture into the unknown and take on complex projects. So we've found our innovation journey evolve much, much faster because of the young leaders that we have in the population, and in our Safaricom environment. And what I can say for me as a PM, the challenge that I face when having these young people in my project is just learning to shed off the old traditional methods of project management and being more agile and more flexible to the needs of the young generation, because they tend to do things very differently. They want to work different hours, you know. They really don't want to be caged in a box or to conform to the norm. So that's very exciting. It's different every day, but I think for me, it's really helped us be even more innovative in our projects.
Yoftahe, have you had similar experiences in your project that the youth drive innovation, the creativity, the versatility that comes with young people? Has it played a big role in your projects?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with what Manjana said. And I mean, that's interesting, right? In my project, I have like different age groups, young, old, middle age, and also multinationals, more than 45 nationalities have been working on different projects. But here, when we consider the young people, I mean, the value that they are adding is really great. Look, they are agile, okay, flexible, and the way of working is a bit different from what we used to have, like with some other people or older people, or even middle-aged people. So that will add a value to the project. Every project is adventure. That's how I see it. So in a path to adventure, in your journey to your adventure, you're not going to predict everything perfectly, right? And that's why you enjoy every step of the adventure. So every step of the project, you enjoy it when the younger people are in it. They are not afraid to take risks. They are not afraid to test new ideas, new approaches to all the problems. That is a fantastic part, right? The problems are well known, but they are well equipped and they are well ready in their mind. And I mean, the attitude is much better, to be honest, working with young people, younger generation, because I mean, they will not hesitate to take new responsibilities or new roles, which you rarely find it in other age groups. I'm not blaming anyone, but I'm just appreciating the young people. And I'm always happy working with young people.
All right, thank you. You both, what I picked up from both your answers is you both refer to projects as a journey. Yoftahe's word, the adventure lies in the ebbs and flows and the challenges, in the changes that make it almost makes it suitable for young people because you never know what the next thing would be. It's not rigid. So that's what I'm getting from the both of you. So from that, what trends do you see developing in project management, especially with the involvement of a younger generation?
Now, look, the world is changing in different ways, right? With the current pandemic, we are seeing a lot of new ideas, new ways of working. And even before that, our world has been changing in a very rapid way. And young people have a crucial role on this one, right? They are the change agents, and they are also the people who are taking the first fruit of the change. We're going to see a lot of changes, but this again is not something that has to frighten us, but something that we have to embrace, make it ourselves, make it ours, and we have to use it as a tool to impact and bring what we want to bring.
And I like that as young people, we are the change agents for the change that we want to see in our communities. One thing that the youth or young people like us is, if you want something, you actually go out there and get it. We're not willing and waiting for someone to come bring that change for us and then tell us the ways to do it. We like, this is what we want, this is what we'll get to, and we'll do it. And if it's a skill, there's so many channels that are available that one can learn different skills instead of going the traditional formal route. So given the pandemic that we're all facing, are more value-driven as opposed to profit-driven? Or how do you see projects of the future unfolding?
Yes, I definitely believe that projects of the future will be more value-driven. I think this COVID situation has helped us to really shed off what is unnecessary and focus on what is important and what will bring us the necessary outcomes that we need. So we are changing how we are handling situations. We are having much more meaningful interactions, even as we seek to deliver projects from a human perspective, because we see how this COVID-19 has just come into this world and shaken all of us, and you don't take life for granted. So there's that human side, and then there's also the outlook where you have to think about, if I have to deliver a project, how efficient then can I be to make sure that my project is delivered in the best way possible, especially now with all these restrictions. You have to really think about how efficient you are with your resources, how efficient you are with time. And, for example, you would find some projects, people would travel all over the world, doing research, doing site visits, just to get some documentation done on justification for a project. But now it's been a couple of months and some countries have been on lockdown, but projects are still getting delivered. People have not been traveling, but we are still delivering projects. So we are learning that some things were maybe too much, and now we just have to learn to do things better for the world.
You're correct in speaking about the restrictions and how the restrictions have impacted the delivery of projects. It just happened overnight, for lack of a better word. And now we've had to change and become early adopters to ways of being and doing. Yoftahe, what have the restrictions or the lockdowns and COVID, how has it impacted your workspace and your work or your delivery of value through projects?
This has impacted every sector, every domain. Fortunately, I'm working still in the telecom industry, in the ICT, And we have been fairly enough using ICT as our backbone on every of our activities. For our sector, it's also brought a business opportunity that now many people have been looking for connectivity, and they have seen the value of connectivity. And sometimes you have to finish workers or deliveries online. You don't need to travel, as Wanja has said. So that has brought, in fact, some work burden on us. And the way now we're handling is every one of us are working from home, but now we're developing new skills, how you're managing people virtually. Face-to-face communication and having a chat on a coffee chat, that's what you call it. And then you solve some things by using those methods. But now that's been almost vanished. That's been almost erased from your project communication plan. So everything is virtual, and managing people virtually is a new skill that we are now developing. We are now trying to get used to it. So this has helped me personally to develop these new skills. And at the same time, it has brought, I think, something outside of from me, that I can deliver things while even there's a big challenge, while there is even a big obstacle. And that will give you the confidence that now you can manage anything in any part of the world. So that is the lesson that I have learned.
Thank you. The managing virtual teams I think it's a skill that we've all been thrown in the deep end of learning and very quickly acquiring. In my workspace, I forgot to introduce myself. In my workspace, I work as a publisher, and we publish books. And now what the COVID has done for us is that it has basically said only essential work will be done. And your delivery must also just speak to that, basically the minimal value of it, the basic value of what you're doing. If you had a crystal ball and you had to look into the future of Africa as a continent, because we're young Africans and we desire to effect change in not only in our countries, but I guess also continentally and ultimately globally outside of Africa. What unique challenges do you see for the region's young people?
The way I see challenge is an opportunity that needs to be considered. So a challenge is not something that's blocking your way. It's also an opportunity that will let you grow, that will let you shine out. Obviously, in the coming few decades, I still see that political issues, some instabilities or the demand of the people and the way the leaders are acting or doing in Africa will be still a challenge, but still that's an opportunity. The other challenge, which I'm a bit, consider that it will be challenging in every sector, in every domain, is being influenced from other continents or other countries. There are different people, different countries now looking to the potential of Africa, whether it's from West or East. So a lot of skilled migrants will be coming to Africa, and that will be challenging to Africa youth, getting a job, getting entrepreneurship. And I've started to see some data in some countries, and amazingly, the people or the entrepreneurs who are, getting this seed funding or something is they're from another country, but they're based in African country. It will be a challenge, but as I said, we cannot be exclusive. It's not only a challenge, it's also an opportunity for us to shine out and to show our skills, competences, and our value to the world.
You ended with, it's an opportunity to show our skills and competencies. So what key project management skills are necessary for this opportunity that that is presenting itself to us?
Yeah, in fact, it needs like multiple skills apart from project management. But in the project management, you have to be a leader. You don't have to be only a person who control, execute, and manage things. You have to be a leader. You need to have the vision. You need to have the insight into things, how things will move and how things will be changed. That leadership skill is highly needed, to be honest, in the young generation.
So I think the challenge that the young people will face in the years ahead is just staying ahead of the curve in terms of having the right skills to be able to tackle the changing world, especially with this digital transformation that is going on in the world. And more importantly, I also find that as we go more into the digital transformation, as humans, we are becoming more and more detached from each other. And I think it will be important for the youth to stay in touch with also the soft skills. It's very important to be self-aware through, emotional intelligence, knowing and understanding what your capabilities are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, having social awareness, empathy, embracing ambiguity, being resilient. So pretty much, how to stay sane with all the machines, that are invading our space, for a good reason. But I think more so just have that soft skill also built in yourself, not just the technical skills, because even in the projects, when you're handling people, you need to be able to know how to handle different personalities, negotiation skills, interpersonal skills, conflict management, how do you communicate with the different teams. So I think it's important to also have those in mind as you look to the future.
You're correct in saying in order to be sane, you need to have resilience, because the world is moving at a fast pace that if you cannot if you can't center yourself to be sane, then you're just going to lose much of yourself. I'd like to ask you, Wanja, as a woman in project management leading big projects, I cannot not ask this question. How are you navigating this space as a woman leader in project management?
I think I'm very fortunate to be in an organization that embraces diversity and inclusion. And there's actually an objective to have a certain percentage of women in leadership positions in Safaricom. So we have a lot of support as women leaders, and we always say, it's the men that stand behind us and push us to go forward that help us to be the leaders that we are today. So we actually have a program at Safaricom called He for She, where we have the men leaders supporting, mentoring, and sponsoring the women leaders in the organization. So I have to say it's not been that complex for me because the environment has enabled me to be the leader that I am today.
It's very good to hear that there are organizations that put women's development and leadership at the forefront and create programs to ensure that they bring forth leaders such as yourself. And it's something to be commended. What I would like to know then is how would you advise, or what would you advise a young woman starting out in telecoms or in a space that isn't always conducive, such as what Safaricom has done?
Yeah, I would say most importantly, as women, we don't want any favors. So, we want to be competent and we want to get jobs because we deserve to get the job. So I would say to the young women who, would want to grow in any space, any industry, get the right skills, do the work, and you will get the rewards.
Yes,
as simple as that. Yeah,
it really is as simple as that. In my environment, COVID has created a huge digital divide. At some point, no one went to schools, and then certain schools could proceed because they were digitally far ahead than other schools. So that in itself is a challenge, but that presented a wonderful opportunity for someone to just say, how do we get everyone on the same footing? What did you see in your environments as technological challenges similar to what I've just described that have been brought to the fore by COVID-19? And do you think there's a solution, or can you see solutions for them?
we've had similar experience to what you've spoken about in terms of the digital divide that COVID has made so apparent. And like the challenge today is how do our kids go back to school? Because, we can't continue with online learning because not everyone here in Kenya has access to the internet. Not everyone has access to a device that you can use to learn. And so therefore, how do we move forward without leaving people behind? And we have to start thinking outside the box and figure out how to get kids back in school, because I think for us it's not really an option to go the online way, because further from even getting internet and devices, we do have some regions which still don't even have electricity. So I think as a nation, this situation should actually spur us towards making sure our infrastructure can support situations such as this going forward. So how do we start to refocus our resources to build that infrastructure that we need to make sure that we are fit for future? So that's the question that we need to be asking ourselves here.
Yeah, that is a challenge across the continent. Just to ease ourselves into the end of our conversation, having so many people, so many young people in Africa, what do companies and organizations need to do to harness what is available, and not just from African children, youth, sorry.
So a person having a competent, world-class skill and competence, on top of that, having a knowledge on the context is ideal. I mean, if I were the CEO of one of the companies, that's what I will do. From every point of view, that is the advantage for my company.
So in order to tap into what Africa has to offer, they need to have context and content knowledge go for someone who basically grew up there, who knows the environment, who knows the dynamics. Is that what you're saying to us?
Yes, I've met a lot of African people, young people in my different travels towards Africa and also out of Africa. And I can guarantee you that, I mean, I have never seen any incompetent person in my journey. So yes. They are smart, the young people, they are smart, they are competent, they know their context and they know what they do. I mean, that is really valuable for anyone looking to a valuable resource.
And Wanja?
Yeah, so I would say that the young people, they are the heartbeat of the organization. I mean, I said here in Kenya, the young generation makes up the highest percentage of the population. So it's very important to bring them to the forefront of decision making. And you have to be in touch with them when you're formulating strategy and when you're reviewing solutions to the problems at hand, because I think the youth have a voice, and I think it's a relevant voice in this age that we are in.
It's true that decisions cannot be made for us without us. The both of you have made it to PMI's Future 50. And what is it that, so you're trailblazers, but I would like to know what inspires you, what drives your purpose for you to continue doing what you are doing at the level of exceptionalism that you do, given the challenges that are around all of us?
For me, what drives me every day is my desire for excellence, and I have so much passion in what I do, and I also like to bring integrity in everything that I do. So, and I also think that's my brand, if I can say so. So anything that helps me to live out that purpose is something that I embrace every day in my life. And that's what I also bring to the table when I'm engaging in something. So I think project management is the best role for me to actually exact myself in my purpose, because I'm able to have some bit of control in terms of how things are executed. So I would say excellence, passion, integrity, those are the things that drive me every day. and the need to transform lives?
The need to transform life, driven by excellence, integrity, and passion. I don't think I could say it any better than that. Wanja, you have been exceptional. I believe that if, as young people, we carry values of excellence, integrity, and passion in transforming lives, I think we are on the journey of making Africa I don't even know the biggest diamond in the world, or, there's so many gems.
The brightest diamond.
The brightest diamond. There's so many gems on this continent that one can get, that whatever it is that Africa, that we choose as young people to bring out of Africa, if we drive it through excellence, integrity, and passion, we can be at the forefront of any industry, any world. We could be first world. So thank you, Anja, for your time and for your excellence and for your dedication to your practice as a project manager, and for having that little bit of control on your projects, because without that control, they wouldn't come to fruition. So I wish you luck, and thank you once again. Thank you to Yaftahe and his role that he has played in his projects. So what are your parting words for the young person?
My single message for the use of Africa is, if we make it, if I make it, if Wanja make it, that means that you can make it. That's a simple message. You can achieve, you can make, and more than what we have achieved. That is the simplest thing that you can take from this. So this is what I want you to take as a lesson. Keep yourself developing, keep yourself engaging, and stretch the limits that you have put on yourself, and try to break those limits and try to achieve whatever is in front of you.
Those are very sound words. I heard constant learning and development, continuously engaging and stretching the limit. Having the capability, resilience, and the diligence will lead to impact and influence over Africa, I'll call it that. And with that, once again, I thank Yoftahe Johannes, as well as Wanja Murekyo, for their time and their excellence and passion in driving and putting Africa at the forefront. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.